Yeah, we took a vacation to the southern part of Ohio, and we saw needs that needed to be prayed over. And then later we went to reunion down there too. And the presence of God came into the car, and in asking God what that meant, we both got the same feeling. We need to drive around Ohio and pray over Ohio. So in 2002, we drove the borders of Ohio. It took us 4 days, but we drove all of Ohio borders. And so in 2003, then, we got people together, which Ohio was staked in 2003. And so it was in, I'm not sure when this word came forth, probably around New Year's of 2005. There was a word given to a church in New Jersey that the enemy is coming in from the east, and they are vulnerable, and they need to hype their prayer, and people need to pray for them. And so we really started praying for them. And then Dan saw in a newspaper a picture of the Outer Banks. And he said, those is the most eastern part of the United States. That's where the enemy will come first. So that's when we then took a trip to the Outer Banks to stake the Outer Banks. And then in that, he felt the whole East Coast should be staked. And so we took our first trip staking the East Coast around New England states. And so the top of Maine, there is no roads except logging roads. So we went up to Canada to stake the top part of Maine. So we were across the lake from the tip of Maine, staying at this little motel, and we staked there. But then the next morning was reading in Isaiah 6, and the Lord asked Isaiah, who will go for us? But us is capitalized because it's talking about God. But Dan saw it as a capital U and a capital S. Who will go for United States? And that's where he said, I will go. And so that's how we got to that. So, we later staked Florida. We took a trip to stake Florida, and then another one we staked Texas. Then the big trip we staked from Michigan to all through the north border to San Francisco. And then we took a later state from San Francisco to New Mexico, and that was hard for Dan physically, but he wanted to finish it. And I really do think that was what God was telling us in 1984. This was 2009 is when we got to the end of staking. So in all, we have 116 stakes around the borders of the United States, but we also have stake in every state. And so the interior states we got on our way going somewhere or on our way home. We would stop. And we love to stake at places where 3 states came together, or at Four Corners we have a stake in there. And we just got a great joy out of doing it. We all can pray for the nation. Do what you know to do, and God will show you more. Yeah, do what you know to do, and go forward.